Hi, everybody. Welcome to the video for Wednesday and Friday this week. I am recording this in the past on Monday, so I don't know how our group dialogues went. I hope they went well. But now that those are out of the way, in any case, we are jumping into the action project. The action project will be the focus of the rest of the time we have together, right? This is going to be the last thing we do. We have read all the texts, the core text for sophomore year. So now the rest of the game involves synthesizing English and social justice concepts and skills as the last thing we do together. The first thing we need to do, well, we've already kind of done the first thing. We've identified issues and goals. Now it's time to start committing to some of those issues and goals. We need to begin research and inquiry around those issues and goals. So we've been kind of waffling around, what exactly is the issue you're going to commit to? Who are the groups with whom you're going to work? But we're going to make those final decisions by the end of this week. So this week focuses on the orange here, research and inquiry. Let's talk about what that means, okay? Don't freak out. This is not iSearch Part 2. I would admittedly have leaned into the skill of research writing more if we weren't virtual, but it's really hard to create structures for training that kind of skill. So it's going to be a relatively chill research and inquiry task. So let's take a look first at groups. You have until Thursday, until tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this, until Thursday, 11 p.m. to sign up for groups. So you can sign up with essentially whoever you'd like. I'm letting you choose your groups. I have linked here the responses that you all shared from your specific issues and goals Google form. This will help you remember who exactly is on the same page as you, has the same interest as you. And I've also linked the issue roundtables so that you can reflect on the discussions that you had with those same people from the Google form responses, the discussions that you had with those people around those issues. Remember, in those discussions, you ask yourself, how do your goals align and how can you collaborate to achieve those same goals? Well, now it's time to start putting those theories into action, those hypotheticals into action. So go ahead and write down your specific issue, your shared specific issue, your shared SMART goal, according to who is in your groups. Please note that when I say specific issue, I mean just that, specific issue. Do not put the name of just your topic, like climate change or gun control. It's very unhelpful. What exactly about climate change or gun control do you care, or what about it concerns you? Write that specific thing. Many people will do action projects within the realm of climate change, within the realm of racial and minority discrimination. What exactly is your space in that realm? Okay, here's a reminder what SMART goals are, pretty basic, and group members. One last disclaimer about groups. Before we switched virtual, I was pretty adamant on making sure people were not working alone. But given the circumstances, given the fact that we're virtual, some people, it'll just be truly easier and more doable if they don't have to be communicative with other people. Maybe they have spotty Wi-Fi. Maybe they don't have reliable avenues of communication with people outside of their home. So you may do this by yourself. You can do the action project by yourself. I highly encourage you don't, because the action project is more authentic, genuine, and doable if you do it with other people. But if you feel like, if you weigh all the odds and you determine that it's easier, it'll be to your benefit to work alone, then you may. If that's the case, then just write your own name and don't write anybody else's name. Okay? That is it for groups. You have until Thursday at 11 p.m. to do this. I'm leaving it up to you to determine how to communicate with each other. Email, Snapchat, Instagram, I don't care. However you see fit to work out that communication. Okay, so go ahead and be checking your emails pretty consistently, because there could be people trying to reach out to you if they don't have your phone number or Snapchat or what have you. Okay. So let's take a look at the one thing that we're just starting this week. Because we wrapped up homegoing this week as well, I don't want us to finish this organizer this week. It'd be too much to cram. We will complete this organizer when we are done, when we come back from spring break. I imagine many of you will finish this organizer this week because it's not that much, okay? So here's what you're doing. You're conducting very shallow and brief research and inquiry on whatever it is your specific issue is. I've given definitions of research and inquiry if you find those helpful. And there are boxes here for you to check if you want to show that you're done. Okay. I'm giving up on Schoology's completion. On their completion. What's it called? Kind of like system option tool thing on the course page because it's way too glitchy. So here's how you complete this organizer. Once you completed this organizer, you are done completing your research and inquiry, and we will move on to planning when we get back from spring break. So you just copy and paste your specific issue, or you could rewrite and revise it. You write who you're working with, and then you copy and paste or rewrite your initial SMART goal. And then this is where the new stuff comes in. You're going to talk about the origins of your issue, the stakeholders of your issue, and the decision makers in your issue. If you're wondering what any of those mean, take a look at the questions below the title of that information you need to look for. Where does this specific issue even come from? Why does it even exist? Hence origins. Here's an example. Again, you are focusing on the specific issue's origins. So if your specific issue is that you think people need education around the issue of climate change, then you need to explain why people aren't educated about climate change in the first place. Don't explain why climate change exists. That's not the origin of your specific issue. Your issue is oriented around education, maybe around misinformation. Where is that coming from? Okay. Stakeholders. Who is impacted by this issue? Who should be concerned for whatever reason? Who is hurt by this issue? Who isn't yet hurt by this issue but should probably be worrying about it? That's more of a judgment call for you to make. And decision makers. Who is enfranchised, or in other words, has the power to influence the change that you want? Who are the leaders in charge? Remember, when we're taking into consideration, where did I put the picture? Oh, I didn't put the picture here. Oh, yeah, I tried. Oh, well. Oh, no, I put it here. Haha. When we're considering spheres of influence, you only have so much within your own locus of locus of control, right? Mercy. Sorry, I'll have to deal with this. Locus of control, right? But you want to get those decision makers within your sphere of influence. You want to be aware of who's in your sphere of influence in terms of decision makers so that you can get their help, get their aid, collaborate with them, coordinate with them to help enact the change you want to enact by means of your action project. Okay. And after you've done all that research, your goal will inevitably change. You will know more than you know now. So your goal should change accordingly. So how can your goal be refined and improved? It should not be a copy paste from this here. It should be a little different at the very least. And make sure that you're applying the pyramid of action within your goal. You should be aiming to get as high along the pyramid as possible. Don't get stuck in just the education piece. Try and get yourself to at least the agitation piece, and ideally the mobilization piece too. Okay. And any source that you use, you just have to copy paste links. I'm not interested in formatting APA, MLA, Chicago, whatever you want to be using. I'm not interested. Go ahead and just copy paste the links. Feel free to interview people, have conversations with peers, siblings, parents. That counts as data. That counts as inquiry more than research, but that's why it's called research and inquiry. You can anecdotally describe those interviews and conversations. Right, perhaps you want to reach out to people that are in your grade level, strangers, people that you don't talk to usually in the school. Those all count. Yes, and once you check all these boxes, you're done. You've completed research and inquiry for this project. Here's an important note to consider. Everyone is submitting one of their own of these. Everyone's submitting an individual one. Are you able and allowed to collaborate with other people? Of course. Are you even able to copy and paste answers if you decide to divvy up the duties? Like, hey, so-and-so, you do issues and origins, I'll do stakeholders, and then we'll switch afterwards. Absolutely. I'm just not making that collaboration mandatory. One, it's an equity issue. I don't want people pulling other people's dead weight. And research is the groundwork for this action project. I want everyone to do this themselves to some capacity so that they are all on the same page before they start planning and preparation. Okay. And that is it for this week. Everything after that are just resources. They're totally optional. So EBSCO, as you'll probably remember from your iSearch projects last year, I've given you the link and login information for that. I said I would change this. New is not part of the password. I deleted it. Yes, so you could use EBSCO, a database resource, if you want to be extra legitimate with the information you're finding. But of course, CNN, New York Times, just like public access news agencies are totally fair game for this assignment, for this task. I've linked the Encyclopedia Britannica, the #1 reputable online encyclopedia. I've included this, many of you will find this helpful. I've included the organization chart of power and influence in the district, right? So if you are interested in student mental health, then maybe you want to take a look at the order of organization of power and roles for psychologists. If you're interested in tech, there's people involved in tech, or diverse learning. Here they are. If you're interested in changing protocol or curriculum in the school, well, here are the principals, and here's the assistant principals, and maybe you don't want to jump straight to Superintendent Randy Booker, but this organization chart will help you consider who are your decision makers in your issue, if the issue is local, if it concerns the school. Okay. And the last resource is just a very quick graphic. Many of you won't need this, but if you do need that extra structure, this is just how to tell if a source is reliable. You can ask yourself these 5 questions if you're reading from a book, an article, or a website. Okay, so these are all just resources. The only thing you're turning in after spring break is this research and inquiry. You need to start now. I am expecting you to start at least by the end of Friday. Okay, so no one should be leaving their action project blank by the end of Friday. If you do leave it blank, your final grade for this action project will be deducted 50%. Okay, so I need you to start, or else you won't have enough time to finish when we get back from spring break, perhaps. Okay, so that is it for Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday and Friday are almost copy and paste of each other. If you have any questions, you can meet me in office hours. You could text me over a remind, but until then, this might be the last time I see you until we get back from spring break. So have a great break.